All right. Welcome to the next video in this series where I want to dive deeper into talking about, photos on your Google listing and Google posts on your listing. Okay. And the reason why I want to highlight this is because I truly do believe photos and posts, except for reviews, really do make or break whether or not parents are going to click through to your website or even like pick up the phone to call you and see what you all are like. And so that's what we're going to talk about in this video. I'm Darrell Tyler. I'm an SEO veteran for daycares and preschools. I hope you get more enrollment calls through Google using simple, effective SEO. Okay. One photo can really make a difference in whether or not a parents trust your daycare or make them instantly move on. And I want to show you exactly which photos actually drive enrollment. Okay. And so in this original example, where we're talking about Atlanta International Nursery, right, where is this nursery? At Brookhaven. Okay. They're listed as a preschool. Let's take a look at their photos. Smiling children holding potted plant. Who would not love that? All right. Kids learning, warm, friendly environment. Again, warm, friendly environment. Kids learning. They care about the overall development and well-being of children. And you can see that through them learning and developing their green thumb, playing outside. Uh, Again, smiling, laughing, clean, organized classrooms, studying. These are the things that are important to parents when they're deciding which preschool or what daycare that they want to put their kid in. Okay, so things like this are extremely important. They're not just looking for information, they're looking for emotional resources. They're trying to answer one question, really: does this feel safe for my child? And your photos and your posts create that feeling faster than really anything else on your profile, except for the reviews. Okay, reviews are king when it comes to this. But your photos and reviews are definitely second and third. So let's break down all the visuals that kind of go into it, right? And so when we're looking at, when parents are on your listing, they're not just reading your descriptions first, they're also scrolling through your photos. Especially the moms. The moms usually are the ones that are scrolling through the photos because they want to see and make sure that they're putting their kid in an environment that is clean, that is organized, that is bred for their development and their safety and their trust. Clean, bright classrooms. That's one of the biggest things that parents want to see. They don't want to see cluttered rooms. Cluttered rooms equals chaos. Clean rooms equals safety. They want to see organized cubbies and learning spaces. Parents assume that your online photos reflect your real standards. So if you have organized cubbies and learning spaces in your photos, then they assume that you're like that all the time. And you should be. This should not be a facade that you put up just to get more enrollments. You should actually be caring about, the organization and the development of children in general. I don't have to tell you that. You're the daycare owner. You kind of understand this already. Okay. The other type of photo they want to see is smiling, friendly staff. This is huge. Parents want to see humans caring for their child. I could not stress this enough. This is a huge factor in who they choose and who they send their kid to. It doesn't matter if all of your children are like learning, are speaking three languages, and they can do backflips and all these other things. If they're not feeling that your staff is warm and friendly, they're going to take their child somewhere else. Okay. The other photos they want to see is happy, engaged children with their permission, of course. You want to make sure that you're asking parents for their permission to photograph their children. Not all parents feel okay with that. I know I'm the kind of parent that doesn't feel too okay with that. And so you want to make sure that you're getting permission. But if you do have their permission, make sure you're taking photos of them being happy and engaged, like you saw in this listing here, because essentially they want to make sure that their kid has that same exact experience. All right. If you have a playground area or some kind of outdoor safety area, show that too. Show parents that you're safe, show parents that you're fun, and that, again, that you care about the development and well-being of their children. I cannot stress this enough. All right. Show your entry door, show your check-in area so parents can see that you're safe and that their children are safe with you. Okay. If you just fix your photos alone, you can change a parent's entire perception about your center. Okay, so it's extremely important that you dig into this. Okay, Photos affect your ranking too. I just want to say that, most people don't know this, but, new photos, high quality images, consistent upload, it all tells Google that you're active, you're trustworthy, and you're well run. And these types of things boost your visibility in Google Maps and on Google search results in general. Parents trust you more, Google trusts you more, and everybody wins from that situation. Okay. Let's talk about Google Posts. This is going to be your trust building feed. This is going to be how you build trust with parents that aren't even at your daycare. Okay. Think of Google Posts like your daycare's live activity. I don't know if you remember from the previous video where we discussed posts, but let's jump into it now. I'm going to say don't turn on posts. All right. This is where you're going to regularly build trust with parents and prospective parents, because you're going to continuously update them on your center and your engagement, your events and things like that, just so they can start to get a feel of like how you operate. Excuse me. Just so they can get a feel for how you operate. Okay. There's different types of post ideas that you can engage with. I know the first thing that people typically think about is like, well, what am I going to post? Well, in general, parents love seeing a center that is active, engaged, and transparent. So a great post could be staff spotlights where you show the teachers. Parents enroll because of people, not the building. So showing your staff is going to be extremely important in building that trust. Weekly activities, if you have curriculum themes or crafts or learning stations, show that. Show how you're contributing to the development of children as a whole. If you have any upcoming events or past events that you've done, show that. Show pictures from that. Show people that you're the type of daycare that really invests in the well-being of children. Again, you have the opportunity here to upload images and videos, and you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of all these available features here in Google listings. Okay. Another great idea is safety and cleanliness posts. Parents love these. Show your sanitation routines, your safety protocols, your check-in procedures. Show all that. That way, parents could a good experience of your center without actually having to leave their couch. The more you build this trust with them, the more you build this good welfare with them, the more likely it is that they pick up the phone or even just book a tour straight from their phone. Talk about your holiday hours. You can post on that. If things change within your Google My Business listing, you can post that and talk about it and say, hey, we've updated our holiday hours for Christmas, or hey, we've got a new closure because of this kind of snow. Parents really appreciate this type of clarity. And when they're looking for, these updates, first thing they're typically going to do is Google your name if they couldn't reach your website first. And so make sure that you're showing that. And highlight your curriculum. If you're a Montessori school, show the things that make that unique. If you're a STEM school, show the things that make that unique. All these things, you want to make sure that you're separating yourself from other schools and showing how unique and showing how unique you are inside of your curriculum is definitely one of those things that could help. Okay. And the last thing that I'll say about this is really transparency equals trust. Through your photos and through your posts, that's exactly what you show. When parents see real classrooms, real teachers, real kids smiling, laughing, being engaged, then you're providing real-time updates for how you're contributing to the development of children as a whole. It really creates something special. You build trust without needing a tour yet, and the daycare that builds trust before all of this is the one that gets the phone calls, and they're the ones that also fill up their classrooms faster. So make sure that you're doing that, and you don't need to post every day. You do need to post consistently. However, 1 to 2 posts a week is fine. One new batch of photos per month is great. This alone is going to increase visibility, engagement. It's going to increase your calls, and all of those things also increase your tour requests. And so because of that, parents think if you're putting all this effort into your profile, you're probably putting that same exact effort into the care for their kids. And so make sure you're showing that. And so if you want more information about this, what to post, what photos should you post, or what posts to create, reach out to me and I'll be happy to consult you about that for free. Until the next time, I'll see you in my next video.